Well,
Take two.
Good morning, Chaldea, and welcome back to a show where three weebs whine about why their favorite waifus aren't in the game yet. I'm Cole.
I am Jamick.
I don't exist this episode.
Yeah, probably not,
But my name is Jacob, though.
Yes, what Jacob means by that is me and Jake have quite a extensive...
That's incredibly confusing. Cole and Jamick. Sorry, two of us have the same name, but anyway, we call him Jamick.
So Cole and I have a bunch of characters that we really want to see in the game. They're, just different historical characters that we really like, or maybe connections to a character already in the game, or just someone that would be a really neat idea to include. We have many thoughts on this. Jacob not so much, but he's going to contribute to the conversation, and maybe he'll come up with one or two of his own by the end.
Yeah. What classes they could be, what rarities, what their skills might be, stuff like that.
Sure, I could maybe help with that if I know who they're talking about. I'm not as much of a history mythology buff as they are, so I mean, I like it, but
Yeah, we're the history and mythology nerds.
yeah.
All right, Cole, want to start us off?
Yeah, first off, I know I've talked about this one extensively. The person I want probably more than anyone, I want to see a Don Quixote servant. I think that would be hilarious for multiple reasons. First, I think that it would be really fun because they could very easily add another bronze servant. I know that wouldn't really get people hyped, but I have this weird fetish for bronze servants that I don't really fully understand. But
It's the underdog syndrome.
Kind of.
They have introduced one new bronze servant since the game launched.
They have.
And it's Paul Bunyan.
Not even out in NA yet.
Nope.
Yeah,
Technically an event servant.
Obviously, I think they could make them a rider. And I slipped up there. I said her because I think this is another servant they could actually gender swap.
Why is that?
Because in the novel I was forced to read in high school, Don Quixote, like, one of the first things he does is he swears like fealty or like an oath to some random peasant girl, like that he will be her knight. And I think, like, when you summon him, he takes the form of that girl because I have taken the form of the most beautiful creature in the world. And I just think that would be really funny. I think this could be
gone too far into fate go. You're making up excuses to gender swap them, and it sounds just like an in-game reason. God damn it.
Like, I think this works though because it would be like kind of a gag character, kind of like what Nobu is now. Nobu. And maybe.
Except Nobu's reason is just, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's probably my number one that I think would be the most fun.
So, do you think Don Quixote would make more sense as a rider, or like a saber, or a berserker?
Don Quixote actually could be a berserker. I think the most obvious choice for him would be a rider, although riders also tend to be like...
Or an avenger?
Oh my god. That could be like... Riders are usually also like tactical leaders, so it could be another saber, although I don't want more sabers at this point. Like, we have too many, in my opinion.
They do need more, low star sabers.
Seriously, I hate the fact that
there are 0 sabers below 3 stars right now, so Don Quixote could be the first.
Yeah, maybe.
God, I hate the 3-star sabers. I literally wouldn't use them. So the only time the only servant, still to this day, my only saber that I will ever use is oh my god, I'm blanking. Bedivere. And I've grailed him up to 90, so he's not even 3-star anymore. Anyway.
Still only costs the same as a 3-star though, so
That's
you
true.
can fill up your
It's
team with
abusable,
those.
although not really, because
That's a weird like gimmick.
It is, but it's also not really that much of a gimmick because of the fact that 4 stars also just have higher stats regardless of level. So whatever. Anyway, what's your number one pick, Jamick?
Gosh, I haven't really thought about number one.
Sure,
but
what's the first one?
The first one that comes to mind is Sun Wukong.
Wait, he's not?
Sun Wukong is not in the game.
I assumed I was just waiting for him in like the Chinese update.
So here's the thing: they did a Journey to the West event with Sanzong,
Right.
who is the prince that Sun Wukong works for.
Right. She is in the story.
She talks about Sun Wukong, and
in the event, Ritsuka plays the role of Sun Wukong.
yeah,
right?
like there's the three characters. I think it's David,
Goliath.
Li Xuan, and the master themselves, who sort of fill the roles of the three disciples. One of them being Sun Wukong, but Sun Wukong is not an actual servant yet. I feel like that's weird. A major oversight. I think he would make. And it is for sure he, because Sanzong referred to him as a he. So it's not a gender
we get a
swap.
male servant. But no, like seriously, you're right though, because this is like one of the weirdest omissions, because Sun Wukong is one of those characters that's permeated our media to the point
specifically anime.
Sure, anime, but not just anime. League of Legends has a Wukong character in it. Freaking Smite has Wukong in it.
The Monkey King is a huge trope that is just everywhere.
It's everywhere.
From Journey to the West.
It's just weird that, I'm just shocked that they don't have it in any capacity. That is a good one.
So what, he would be like a Lancer, a Berserker?
I feel like, I think Caster might actually work, because he mastered the sort of shape-shifting things, also the trickster aspect. I think Lancer could work with like the extendable club, but I think probably Caster or Berserker would make the most sense.
I would like him as a Lancer personally, because I feel Lancer is kind of an underpowered class at the moment.
True.
Like,
that's true.
In NA at least, I think the top tier Lancer is still
Skahawk.
Yeah. Who we got like at launch, basically.
Blah.
It was a few months in, but yeah.
That's launch for me.
So yeah, probably like he'd probably be a 5-star just because it's a big high-profile character.
Yeah, it'd be weird if it wasn't. Honestly.
It would be pretty weird if he wasn't a 5-star, but
has a very obvious and easy skill set.
You know what? His maybe because his whole gimmick is like shapeshifting. Maybe his NP could change his class, like kind of like Jekyll and Hyde.
I love it, but they probably won't do it. But I would love it if they did. I literally want to level Jekyll and Hyde just to try out the goofiness, honestly. Like, it just sounds funny. But
also because it's your favorite voice actor.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt at all. I love Minoru. His name's confusing, so I just call him M squared. So
yeah, my first pick, Sun Wukong.
Great pick.
Definitely needs to be in the game.
Here's my number one pick, Godzilla. I know we've talked about this, but it needs to be Berserker Godzilla.
Did you realize King Protea is literally a kaiju waifu servant already in the game?
Is it a radioactive lizard? I don't think so.
I don't know, she has moss growing on her.
What does that have to
the
do
opposite
with
of
rock, lizards, or radiation?
It's green. I don't know.
Right, just like Godzilla's radiation breath. I remember it's very green.
I've never seen a Godzilla movie. How would I know?
Wait, did you not watch any of the ones?
I was not there for your
we
movie
did
marathon.
2 of those. You monster! You've never seen any Godzilla. Alright, folks, we're gonna take a quick break. Gonna watch 7 Godzilla movies.
We're gonna go watch all the Godzilla movies in chronological order.
And we're gonna overdub the Mechagodzilla one with giant Nobu noises the whole time. I just want to hear, just the sound cut out during a Godzilla blast and go, Nobu!
And we just killed our headphone users. Sorry about that.
Yeah, apologies. Alright. That's my number one and only pick. Go ahead, Cole. Give us another one.
Okay, but let me reassert myself after that. So my second pick would be, personally, I don't like how many writers and artists there are in FGO. I think it's kind of it doesn't really strike a. I don't think of artists and writers as heroic figures, but one character I would really like to see is Edgar Allan Poe.
If you weren't going to say this, I was going to say this because you have a brilliant idea for this one.
So, as an edgy goth girl IRL. I love Poe. I really got into his writing early in college, and he has this really interesting philosophy where oh my god.
My sister made this for my birthday.
How have I never seen that?
Because I just got it like a week or two ago.
That's sick.
It's a picture of
It's
words with ravens on it.
For
I've
those
never
of
read
you
any
who
Poe. I'm not a literature
aren't
person.
watching with the camera that doesn't exist, it's basically just an art project that my sister made for me for my birthday. It's like a sort of a collage, almost kind of.
It's cool looking.
It's
Maybe
an
we'll
art piece.
post a
It's,
picture on Twitter or something for
yeah,
you.
something like that.
But yeah, it's. I'm not really a literature person at all, so I apologize if I again have nothing to contribute here.
But Poe, he never really got over the death of his first wife, and that inspired a lot of his literature. He said the saddest thing someone could write about was death and the loss of beauty, and therefore the saddest thing was the death of a beautiful woman. And say what you will about that. And I think him being summoned, he would actually summon in the body of his first wife as him kind of giving her a second chance at life. And
I actually have an addendum to this. I think this would be great as like kind of how they did Hokusai, where it's his wife is the one that's there, but Poe is in the form of a raven on her shoulder
yes.
all the time.
Oh, that's a good idea.
kind of with Helena did that too with her little robot.
Yeah, I think
And
so,
I
yeah.
assume this has to be a caster.
I think you were saying like an assassin.
I was
right?
actually thinking, assassin, because death is such a a thing in Poe's work that I think assassin works well.
Oh,
Also,
perfect. We can have more assassins with the generic caster animation. My favorite.
Oh no,
Yeah,
these
baby.
are going to be like we're gonna have telltale heart tremors through the ground. We're gonna have
Ravens,
obviously.
of course.
yeah, obviously
Yeah,
a flock of ravens swung.
I mean, that has to be like the Noble Phantasm.
His NP would be Nevermore.
No, yeah, that would
Oh.
be the Noble Phantasm.
All right.
I literally, I almost, if I had gotten to have an NPC assassin in the last Fate RPG that we ran, I was going to use this character concept.
Sick.
As
the
a reminder, that
assassin.
is a custom-made like Fate tabletop role-playing game that J-Mick created. It's a fairly simple, opposed dice roll system, but
It's more of a co-op storytelling game than
Right,
anything else, but
yeah.
it's fun for the occasional one-off.
right. So, in any case, yeah, I think Poe is a really good idea. I agree. We will have a discussion at some point. We have one scheduled, theoretically speaking, for us to debate whether or not writers, authors, artists are generally speaking good or bad servants. In terms of whether or not they should be servants.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a good idea, honestly. Like, there's a few authors, and people like that are well known enough and have enough unique, weird, crazy ideas and stuff like that that'd be good. Like, and I know you're almost certainly going to mention this, so I kind of don't want. I'm not even gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil. I think there's one other one that's kind of obvious. So, were you gonna talk about another author?
Maybe I'll pass it over to Jake.
Okay. Well, let's see what's next.
So we are planning a future episode because these two don't really like all of the authors, artists, creators that are in Fate.
We
Yeah,
don't
they don't fight.
We don't like them thematically. Personally, Hans is one of my favorite servants, but
Yeah.
But see, I'm a big fan. I think that they absolutely belong in the game, and we probably need a few more. So we are planning a future episode, which is going to be sort of authors on trial. They're going to state their case for why authors and artists and such don't really belong in the game, and I'm going to be defending them. So look forward to that in the future. For now, I think my next choice for a servant that really needs to be in the game is Ajax.
Yep.
Specifically, Ajax the Great from the Iliad, the Trojan War, for a number of reasons.
Mythology.
For one thing, Ajax is the sort of greatest Greek/Achaean hero after Achilles. Did I say? No, I think I said that right. So he's a really big character there. Had a bunch of duels
Literally.
with Hector. I think you could make him a Lancer or maybe a Berserker. I think he
how
fits
about a
really well in either of
Shielder?
those. If Shielder wasn't an exclusive class, Ajax would be possibly the most perfect character for that.
That's what I was
But
thinking,
the biggest reason why I think we need Ajax in the game is because he is the source for one of Archer's most important facets, which is the Ro Ias. Ro Ias literally means Shield of Ajax.
Archer from the Stay Night timeline.
Yes, from Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, all that. The Ro Ias takes the form of I think it's some kind of a flower, maybe a hyacinth or something.
It is some
which
kind of flower, yeah.
is connected to Ajax. It's like the flower that like sprouted out of his blood when he died or something.
I will make a small note here. Like, I know we like said we shouldn't spoil this at one point, but like in retrospect, it doesn't make much sense not to talk about Archer from Stay Night.
I mean, I
because
know his name is literally in the game.
his
but
name
it's
is
just force of
literally
habit.
in the game. Like, yeah, I know. Anyway,
But yeah, the 7 petals represent the 7 layers of Ajax's shield, and
This is new.
Ajax's shield has 7 layers, and famously Hector's
Like a nice bean dip.
Hector's spear was able to pierce through like 6 of the layers, but it's stuck in the 7th, and it was like the only thing that could Ajax's shield was the only thing that could stop Hector's spear, and also Hector's spear was the only thing that ever pierced Ajax's
so
shield.
that's why.
So it's that's why you get the scene in Unlimited Blade Works with Kukulane, and it's an awesome scene.
Yeah.
So,
that's cool.
Ro Ias is, in Fate lore, the ultimate defense against projectile attacks. So, we could see a, let's say a Berserker with a defensive Noble Phantasm.
Gross.
It would, like, probably grant, it might grant him, like, target focus and invisibility or something, and, like, raise the party's attack or something. A little bit similar to, Mash's Noble Phantasm, but I just think there's some interesting play to be had there, and Ajax is another character that's kind of sorely missing, especially since he is kind of important to Fate lore, and he's never been in anything.
Like, I would say hashtag no more Greek heroes, but the fact that, like, he is referenced specifically so much is...
There's not that many Greek
I feel
heroes
like there
in
is
the game, right?
I feel like there is a good amount.
There's more Greek than there is from, like, any other sort of mythology.
Unless you count
period.
Japanese mythology.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, like, Greek is one of, like, the most pervasive
I guess
mythologies.
That's
guess,
also true.
I guess if you don't, whatever, this is not a point worth arguing. The point, you're right. There are a lot of Greek heroes, but it is also like one of the most well-known pantheons and sets of heroes in the whole world by far.
I am still holding to my prediction that there will be a future chapter based on the Trojan War, but that's not something we can really get into right now because spoilers, and it's not the current topic.
It's not really a spoiler for predicting it, but
do either of you have anything else before we move on to the next character?
I don't have anything on Ajax. I don't fucking. You said everything I knew about him, and that was literally just stuff you told me already. So
Yeah. All right, Cole. What's your next choice?
My next character, I'll do mix it up a bit. You guys both know this character because I played him in one of the in one of the our famous RPG sessions.
This was another neat thing.
not neath thing.
Not neath thing.
It is Egyptian though.
Another like character that's sort of pervaded through pop culture, King Tutankhamun, or King Tut as most people know him.
It's a good choice.
I decided to, in one of our games, play this character as an Avenger because I flavored it that he was kind of forced to be a heroic servant. If like archaeologists hadn't come, like raided his tomb, like shipped everything back off to England or America. I don't remember where they were from. And like the infamous then curse came from all this. I felt
it makes sense. It seems like a vengeful spirit. So in the terms of the story that people know about.
Yeah, there was literally this story created about Tutankhamun, about the Curse of the Pharaohs, which he had nothing to do with,
of course.
But that's what he sort of became famous for.
And in fairness, that is a lot of what characters are in Fate. It's what they are known for. Like, I mean, Robin Hood doesn't exist, but he's in the game, so...
I know, King Arthur literally exists in the Fate timeline, so Robin Hood might, I don't know.
Well, okay...
For,
That's another debate. Is like
Kojiro and Robin Hood, they specifically said the people themselves didn't exist, so the summoning system takes the closest... The closest person it can find who would fill the role.
For those, but weird. Not for King Arthur. King Arthur did exist. It's just like, they have their own weird, like, alternate history where a lot of these things actually happened, and a lot of these myths and stuff actually. And I'm like, that's okay if you want to do that, but that's one of the weirdest things about Grand Order to me in general, is the fact that they have this, like, weird alternate history where, we're now confirming for a fact that King Arthur really had this, and it's not just a legend of King Arthur doing this thing. And I guess they kind of do that in, main theme story Fate things too, because, like, it wouldn't make sense to have King Arthur come to the present and remember these things that happened to him, her, and want to go back and change things based on that if they didn't actually live. And so I guess technically that happens in all of them, but I never really have to think about it until you go back to those time periods and live through them, and I'm like, that's weird. I didn't really think this happened.
Getting back to... No, you're fine. Getting back to servants, I originally thought he would be like another 0-star servant, but I didn't really want to...
Tutankhamun, that is.
Yeah, Tutankhamun, that is. But I don't really want to steal Angra's thunder, I guess. I feel like he could just as easily be like a 4-star or even like a 3-star.
Yeah, another 0-star adventure might be too much.
I don't think he'd be a 3-star. I think he'd be at least a 4-star. I think he's
popular. So yeah.
People would want to roll for him.
Yeah, just based on the name recognition. So
yeah, I feel like he's one of the few like male servants that could get people rolling.
Yeah,
other than Gilgamesh.
Obviously.
And Ionia Hintairoy.
And apparently Muramasa.
That's cool. Okay, first of all, name recognition. Muramasa is a very well-known swordsmith and sword. And on top of that, like, from all kinds of things, if nothing else from Final Fantasy.
Like most history.
Yes, exactly. And on top of that, it's cool design, and, like, no spoilers, but, obviously has some aesthetic similarities to other characters you might know.
Yeah.
So... I agree. Whatever.
Yeah.
King Tut.
Tootie Boy.
That'd be cool. I think Avenger's the perfect class, but, Caster could probably work too. Berserker probably will be okay. So, that's how it works. There's most characters could be summoned as
I want more Avengers.
Yeah. I'd like to have a Avenger in my Chaldea. That'd be nice.
Jimmy,
so,
what do you have?
let's see. There was a few more characters I wanted to talk about. I'm drawing a blank on the one that I specifically wanted to talk about next. Let me briefly talk about someone who was not a part of history, but is a part of the Type Moon storyline, and since they're bringing in more of those characters, when are we going to get Toko Awazaki?
Yeah.
Toko Awazaki should be in the game. If Shiki is in the game, Toko should be in there in some... Yeah, we have two versions of Shiki. We have Fujino who is only really in the third Karno Kyokai movie.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of other characters coming in as demi-servants. I'm really surprised that Nasu served pet characters, Aoko and Toko Awazaki, aren't in the game in some form yet.
Yeah. It's a little weird, but also I don't care that much. I know you care more
I mean,
than I
it's
do, but...
I just really liked
She
Toko
is
in the
cool.
Kano Kyokai movies,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this isn't really a full character discussion. It'll still be taking my turn, but I just wanted to say, it'd be neat if she was in the game.
Unfortunately, like, if they would have done that, it would have been, like, at the KNK rerun in Japan.
Probably.
I
yeah.
have one, but that's just riding on the back of that one. Like, I really like Berserker Arquade in this. Like,
Yeah.
I'd really like...
She was in a Fate.
She was in
Content.
Fate Extra, so
Yeah.
technically... In like I don't know, it's a stretch obviously, but Arquade is the main heroine from Tsukihime, and she could have multiple versions. I guess she's a vampire, a Kyuketsuki, but she's like a royal vampire, whatever. She's like the noble lineage, the original vampire.
She's a
True
white-
ancestors.
True ancestors. That's the word. Yeah,
She's a white vampire as opposed to a red vampire.
yes.
So
she has a couple forms she could take, but even in like her default
That's a
form,
magic joke, not a race joke, guys.
so she has two different forms. She has like an evil version, which would obviously be Berserker, but I can't really come up with a good other class for her. So like I kind
Moon
of
Cancer.
for
no, sure.
Well, no,
Why not?
the Tsukihime is all about the moon. Actually.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why I
all
said
about
that.
this title is like something under a pale blue moon. So it's like, I mean, it's kind of perfect actually.
Oh dear.
Anyway,
And,
whatever. That'd
I
be
mean,
my pick. I'd love that, but like
they
I know that's
have-
probably not gonna happen.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure. They not only will they probably do a Tsukihime collab event whenever they get the remake set up,
That's a funny joke.
but
James.
they have actually
There's also the
discussed.
That was cool.
They have actually discussed true ancestors in Fate Go briefly.
Yeah. They have,
but
yeah. I remember that. I was like, what the... How dare you talk about
So-
my Tsukihime? I've actually played that visual novel. It's one of, like, maybe... I've played some visual novels, but not that many. So, it was good. A little too explicit times, but, whatever. Not a big deal. I'm really looking forward to the remake, but, like, it's not going to happen unless they have time to work on it. And I'm really hoping that Nasu... leaving this project means he's going to go help with that one or something. Because
I would absolutely see that.
I just really want a Tsukihime that doesn't look like butts. The original art's not great, honestly.
They were.
I think it's quaint.
It's quaint. It's not terrible.
As I understand it, they were talking about Tsukihime remake until Natsu stopped to start writing Fate Go
Pretty much
full
what
time. So if
happened,
he
yeah.
leaves that's probably going to be his first thing he
hope
comes
so.
back to.
Anyway, so that's probably my first choice. Was it your turn next? Cole?
Yeah, I think so. So this might have been the character you had
I'm assuming it
talked
was.
about earlier. Another character I would really like to see, again, kind of breaking my own rule here, is Dante Alighieri from the
Yes.
famous Divine Comedy.
Dante's Inferno.
Dante's
Okay, so
Inferno.
that's
Dante.
not what I thought you
Oh,
were going
wait,
to say.
who did you think of?
All right, Lovecraft. Like,
Oh!
yeah, like
Oh.
I was like, if there was like, I only really approve of author/artist servants who are like really well known to the point where their creations speak for themselves, and even then, I'd kind of rather have one of their creations in the thing than them. But in this case, I mean, I can't imagine anyone other than Lovecraft himself like being. I don't know how it would work, but
Currently, Abigail feeds my Lovecraft obsession.
yeah, there's
for
like
this
some
game,
cool
but
eldritch.
Oh,
characters.
you guys don't even know.
I am so excited for saying that.
There's some cool
I
Eldritch
can't
characters.
say anything, but I'm just biting my tongue right now.
There's some cool Eldritch characters already in the game, or will be in the game rather. But I don't know. Like, it'd be cool to have that. That's one pretty obvious literary reference that I'd be okay with. There's a lot of them that I don't care about. Like, I'm still mad about Hans Christian Andersen being in the game. I'm still mad.
He was
But
in CCC.
all right, I know. Sorry, this is. I don't care. First of all, but we need to not have this discussion now.
All right, so Dante.
Go ahead.
Dante
Dante's
Alighieri.
Inferno.
Another book I had to read in high school. I enjoyed it. The whole book is about Dante obsessively trying to get through hell and then purgatory, and then finally he gets into heaven to reconnect with his lost love. That seems to be a theme amongst characters I like. And in my mind, he would be a berserker because I feel that very flavorfully connects him with his sort of almost obsessive desire to reconnect with his love, Beatrice in the story.
Yeah. Or Trish for you Devil May Cry fans.
And also,
yeah, Trish, Virgil, they're all characters from Dante's Inferno. Yeah,
that makes sense.
And also, I just like the idea of writers being things other than casters.
Yeah, please, no more casters in the game at all, ever. But actually, just more supports in other classes. But anyway, whatever it is, blah blah blah. So that's a cool idea. I like that idea. I don't see any problem with it. He's a famous character. I would still vote no. Don't put him in the game. But I think it's a reasonable. It doesn't bother me like some characters do. So
yeah, I think actually think about it now. I would rather have Lovecraft, but I feel like I don't know. Lovecraft kind of falls into that. He doesn't really seem. I don't know. Maybe if he's
too recent,
he's too real.
Yeah,
he's too real.
And to be fair, your character you're describing
very racist. Also, to be fair,
yeah.
Well, so is Emiya Alter, but that was in the game.
Got him. So, do you have another one? Did you think of the one that you were really wanting to put in?
I had a couple more, but I do remember briefly talking to Cole about the idea of Benjamin Franklin as a ruler.
This doesn't fall into my writer's thing, but man, just anyone from the last couple centuries kind of weirds me out.
Well, because like he's well known. He invented a ton of stuff. He was honestly, I kind of just want more another American servant, whether that's George Washington. I could totally see him in there as like a writer,
Georgia boy, or a ruler.
Or maybe a ruler, but I feel like, I mean, he never really wanted to be president to begin with, so I feel like he would try to be a writer if at all possible.
Or they could go the other way and not go for historical accuracy and just to make him Mega America Man as a ruler.
They have Edison for that.
You're right.
Edison, who is basically like Science Lion All Might.
I have to say, I don't want any American servants because everyone they do, because America's too new. America is mythological. The only American servants I'd want are like the Native American ones, and they have like one. It's
Geronimo is really well done. I'm honestly kind of surprised.
Yeah, Geronimo's cool, but other than that, like, I mean, I wish they do maybe more of that or something, like maybe like a Skinwalker or something like that. But like, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. This is just a personal gripe. Ben Franklin's like obviously a good choice. You know, George Washington also. I could see them doing it. But...
It was just sort of like we don't have a quick based ruler yet, so we were talking about that would be a good choice.
I do
for
want
a quick based ruler.
I do want that. Let's stop dropping these water bottles.
That was kind of short though, so I'll go again real quick if that's okay.
No, you cheater! It's Cole's turn.
No, I think I was going to say the same one he's about to.
All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Just go ahead.
Hamilton?
Oh yeah, no, I
was going to do a whole bit.
You freaking ruined it.
I was going to move on to a completely different topic.
Oh.
But no, Hamilton is another one. Like the popularity of the musical is probably. I don't know if it's really spread to Japan at all, but it has made Hamilton something of a household name, and that would potentially allow him to be like, I don't know, an archer maybe. The class system is a little sketchy in that, but I do.
Or
think
I'd
it would
say
be a very good choice.
It's sketchy to put a character like that in because he doesn't fit any of the classes.
Because they've never done that before.
Yeah, well, I'm not a big fan of the weird classes in the first place. Like, did either of the Eldritch girls need to be foreigners? No, they could have been like a different class.
They would have both been casters.
Sure.
I think we have enough casters.
Sure, we do, but like,
our casters.
But like, I'm not a big fan of the Eldritch classes. Like. I gotta stop going into this. I almost just want to transition it, but we just don't have enough time for this debate. So we'll probably do this next time. But anyway, But yeah, I don't know. It kind of works. I just don't think he fits into a class. We had someone play him as a berserker in our group.
But that was a very specific version of Hamilton that was like based on a fan parody.
I've never seen any of Hamilton, so I don't know. Again, so I'm just the most useless sack of poo when it comes to stuff like this, guys. All I know is anime and video games. So if you ask me about
what video game character would you like to see?
Sonic the Hedgehog. No hesitation.
I finally remembered what I was gonna say before. But Cole, it's your turn. Do you have another?
I think I've exhausted my list mostly.
Okay.
By the way, Sonic would be a saber, obviously. Because in Sonic and the Black Knight, he wielded Excalibur. In fact, I just want him to be a saber.
No, he wields Caliburn. He wields Caliburn, which is Saber Lily's sword. It's the one that happens before Excalibur.
I want an alternate costume for Saber Lily, where she's in a Sonic fursuit.
Oh no. But no, so I was going to say, I do want a few more, gods in the game, like, mythological gods, whether as demi-servants or whatever. I mean, they made it work for Artemis. They've had a lot of, demi-servants for, Babylonian, for, Hindu. I think the one for Norse. I think you could do a couple more Norse characters.
I think that's a good idea.
But the character that that led me to before that I completely forgot about, Fenrir. As it turns out, I never would have thought that Fenrir could be a servant, but Fenrir was actually supposed to be in the last Encore anime. Do you remember that girl with the pink hair who was like Shinji's girlfriend or something?
Vaguely.
Yeah, I do.
Fenrir was supposed to be her servant, was supposed to be in the anime, and got cut at the last minute. And so they have all of these like mechanics of how he would work. He would be like bound by the 3 different bindings, the last one being Gleipnir, and like the master could release them, but he would be harder and harder to control as he got stronger. And he would be an ice wolf according to lore, because I just think that would be so awesome. I am somewhat biased. I love wolves. I love Norse mythology.
These are
Fenrir
both
is sort of a favorite character of mine. I really like.
Don't you mean Fenris?
That was what they called him in the Thor comics, which is why I thought that's what he was called at first.
Yeah, whatever. J-Mac tried to correct us to Fenrir. To be fair, though, I think in Fate somewhere he's called Fenris. I swear to God I read that.
His name is Fenrir, but he's called the Fenris Wolf, both in Norse mythology. I don't know why.
That's confusing.
But
because it's like 7,000 languages all just sort of mushed together and mistranslated 100 times.
Sure, we'll go with that.
But no, I mean, I'm a big Norse mythology buff, so I just like more Norse characters. We finally got Sigurd, who was the most obvious choice. And I like how they did the 3 different Valkyries.
I'd be very happy.
I love that we got Scotty, but
I'd be happy to have a lot more Norse characters. Honestly, like there's a lot of cool stuff to pull
I feel
from.
like a Thor demi-servant would be like the next.
Well,
one.
they've had not Thor specifically, but was mistaken for Thor in the Prisma Ilia manga. They had Magni, who is Thor's son.
How do you know this?
I've done a lot of research, okay?
This is why we have him on the show, right?
But no, Thor's son, Magni, is one of the like card installs in the Prisma Ilia manga.
Right, okay.
Has like his belt that doubles his strength. It has all that other stuff.
Hill giant strength.
So I was kind of surprised to not see that in the game in some form, especially after seeing an Ilya demi-servant was going to be there, but, whatever.
Yeah, I just like Norse stuff, because, like, I played the new God of War game, so that's a good game. Did you know that?
Video games. We like video games.
Did you know that we played
Heimdall
video games?
would make an interesting
Sure.
demi-servant. I think they could do a lot with his
he
abilities.
And everyone dies.
I mean, the Gjallarhorn would be his noble phantasm, like summoning the Einherjar to just.
That would be awesome. He just has like a shoot, what are those? The plastic horn things that they have at like soccer games.
Yeah, dude.
Fool!
That's the summer
Duke's
version.
when he plays it.
Precisely.
Summer Heimdall.
That would be so good. All right, so unless anyone has anything else, we will probably move on to our new closing segment. The best servant you're not using. Are we going with that name, or
We didn't come up with a
else?
better name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the best servant you're not using. And up today, we have Cole. Cole,
Yes.
what do you have for us
So,
today?
if those of our ancient listeners who remember way back in episode 2, I talked about a campaign I was doing to level all my bronze servants. And a particular favorite that I found in there was Asteros. For those of you who played Okeanos, he had a big part in that. And that's really where his personality is very strongly established. He has kind of a
Gentle giant, almost.
yeah, a
Big Brother.
yeah.
Asterios Oni-chan.
Oh, jeez. Oh dear. Oh no. We've opened up a dark pit that I can only. Anyway, I started playing with him, and I really liked him because he has a fairly standard Berserker setup, where he has a Berserker deck, obviously.
3 Buster cards and 2 of those other lame ones.
Yeah, that no one cares about. He has monstrous strength like Medusa does, which is a specifically just an attack increase. So for all his cards,
His is only one turn, though, right?
it's for 3 turns.
3 turns?
So it's like a personal charisma.
Wait, Medusa?
Dang.
Does
Medusa's less 2 turns.
Really?
Yeah, but I think it might be a
specifically
little bit
Rider Medusa, I'm not sure about
Yeah,
the
I don't
others.
think the other one does. Anyway, sorry.
Gorgon, I know, is only 1 turn.
Mm-hmm. And then he has a debuff. Then he has a really good defensive ability, Natural Demon A++, which increases specifically offensive debuffs, which is more important for Berserkers.
Wait, what does that mean?
So he has at max level 10, he has a 100% resist to attack down, quick down, arts down, buster down, crit down.
Oh, that's
Interesting.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a lot like Ishtar's just absurdly screwy, bluey high debuff resist.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I think all divine
it's
servants have
freaking
that.
hilarious to watch all my team get massively debuffed, and then she's just like, "Yeah, what happened?"
And then
I'm fine.
and then that skill also just gives him a base defense increase, which
nice,
which is great for
Hey,
Berserker.
that's good.
The thing that that really drew me to him, though, because I'm obsessed with this concept of a crit Berserker, is his skill that you get after his strengthening quest, Labyrinth of the Abyss C. So what that does is it increases his own star absorption at rank 10 by 6,000%. That's the same as Raiko's, I think, for her skill.
Yes, but it depends on what their initial.
It really is
crit
weird.
Gather
Now,
rate
to be fair though,
is.
6,000%. Like they start at what, 30%, 20%? I don't know. This is not the math
Berserkers
episode.
usually start with a single-digit percent.
Yeah, for
Gather rate.
for Asteros, it's 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 6,000. So that's 60 times as much. So 9 times 6 is 4. Don't do math on stream.
Basically so long.
54.
Basically,
So
long.
okay, so it's 540. That's really good. Still.
Yeah. So long as you don't have like an archer or a rider on that same team, you should be fine.
Yeah.
And then that also
Even then, still probably.
And then that also increases his buster performance.
Oh dang.
Unfortunately, his big drawback is that he has an arts noble phantasm.
What the shit?
Yeah.
And it doesn't deal damage.
It doesn't deal damage. It's
What does it do?
His noble phantasm, obviously, he sends them to the maze, to the labyrinth.
Oh.
And
Sends them to Shadow Realm.
like essentially, and upgraded, it reduces their attack by 20%.
Okay.
Further reduces their attack by 40%, reduces their defense by 40%. Then, based on overcharge, can further decrease their defense by 30%. So he's a character that takes a bit of setup, but I feel he actually has a lot of potential, and I want to try like playing with him.
A 3-turn monstrous, like, you know, is pretty good. Like a 3-turn attack buff, almost immune to attack debuffs. Like with a good crit.
Only when the skill is active, though.
But
is that how it works? I thought it was like a passive.
It's not a passive.
It's a skill,
It's
but it has a
skill.
But it has a 5-turn cooldown, so that's only 2 turns. That,
at max rank, you mean?
At max rank, yeah.
Yeah.
All of these numbers are at max rank.
That's reasonable. I mean, a 2-turn downtime isn't too horrible. Honestly, that's like pretty solid, and like a defense up on the same time. Yeah, like that's not bad. He seems pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't call him like anywhere near like top tier, but like for a 2-star, for a 1-star.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive, like, kit. If you like grailed him up, I'm sure he'd be a reasonable addition to a team. Or if not, you could just
I will say his max bond CE is really weird.
Why
does it increase the party's quick performance by
50%? He is so indecisive. He has a Buster deck. He has an Arts Noble Phantasm. Then his CE increases quick performance.
That is lunacy.
Yeah. That's almost as weird as Jean's max bond CE increasing Buster performance.
All right.
She has nothing to do with Buster cards whatsoever.
That is a very weird kit. Thank you for explaining it to us.
Yeah.
It's an interesting character.
Next, we'll go into one of these two nerds' personal picks for characters.
Yeah, next time we'll do that on the writing card segment.
For now, unfortunately, we must call this episode to a close because we are way over time.
We're not that far over time.
What time are we at?
We're at 46 minutes right
That's
now.
fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
And so, with that, as always, see ya.
Bye.
Happy rolling.